Fab. Okay. Come and lie down on your back. Feet flat. You can let the knees rock in so they just touch. Not so much of a big internal twist as we normally do, but so feet maybe just a bit wider than hip width, just able to rest your knees. You can bring the hands, place them on the belly, close the eyes, heavy down through the shoulder blades and through the lower back. Maybe just lift the hips, tuck your tailbone under so that more of the lower back is in contact with the ground, and then just relax there. And with your hands on the belly, take a big breath in, feel that belly rise. Big breath out, let it go. Big breath in. Big breath out. With each exhale, just soften. You're trying to make each breath slightly easier, slightly longer, but without force. And there might be a natural pause at the top of the breath. And then an exhale. You don't need to hold that. You don't need to make the pause any longer than it wants to be, but you just don't need to rush the breath. And as you do that, just notice the effect on the whole body. So how you feel through the shoulders, the hips, down through the feet. Like there's extra weight to the body being grounded down. Almost like you're sinking into your yoga mat. So getting really comfortable into the mat. Almost imagine you're on not a hard yoga mat, but say a towel that's laid on a really fine sandy beach, almost able to groove the weight of the body down into the ground, into the sand. So you feel very comfortable, very supported. Just allow the eyes to be heavy. No expression, no tension around the eyes or through the forehead. No tension in the jaw. So just soften. If you are clenching the teeth, let that go. And then one at a time, just bring your knees into your chest. Take a hold of either ankles or feet for a happy baby. So you're just going to lift the heels up. First one might feel a bit tight, so don't force the legs straight. You don't have to push through anything. Just rock side to side. Maybe you extend the heels a little, but like I say, don't be forcing it. Try and pull the tailbone down. Try and anchor the shoulders down. So try not to lift the shoulders too much. They're going to want to lift off the mat a little, but just try not to let them lift too much. Head is heavy. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then slowly plant your feet to the ground, arms down by the side. Tuck your tailbone, pull the waist in and just roll up through the spine. So lifting your hips, then lifting up through the spine, driving your hips up as you push your feet down. So two opposing forces, one going down into the ground, one lifting up into space. Tuck your tailbone, squeeze and engage through the glutes. Hold it for 5. Breathe. 4. 3, anchor into the shoulder blades a bit more. 2. 1, slowly roll it back down. No rush. Pull the waist in. Really nice and slow. So smooth, rolling back into the softness of the sand. So you are pushing the spine down into the ground. Relax the hips at the bottom. Take a big inhale. I'm going to do that 2 more. So exhale, pull the waist in, tuck the tailbone under, roll up through the spine. So just starting to move really slowly, really carefully, connecting to the movement, pushing down into the feet, squeeze and engage through the glutes. driving the hips up, driving your feet down. So can you push the feet further down into the ground, engage through the back of the hips even more, and then slowly roll it down, waist in, nice and slow. Massaging back down into that soft sand. So can you really push down, give your spine more length, more space, relax at the bottom of that movement. And then exhale, we go back, tuck the tailbone under, pull the waist in, roll up through the spine. Coming all the way up. Driving into the feet, lifting through the hips. And then I want you to place your hands onto your lower ribs. And notice if you're sticking your lower ribs out, can you pull your lower ribs in slightly? So they're flat to the tummy rather than sticking out. I want you to feel like your ribs go down into the upper abdominals. Your upper abdominals come nice and close to the ribs. So you're not flaring out in that space. If we flare, then we're going to put pressure through the middle of the back. If we keep it nice and connected, the spine stays nice and long and straight. Roll it back down. Pull the waist in. Take it all the way to the floor. Bring the knees into the chest. Just give a rock from side to side. Stretch both legs up to the sky. Just kick the heels up towards the sky. With the feet free, just give the ankles a roll. Get rid of any little clicks or cracks. Maybe wriggle through the toes. Kind of mobilize through the ankles. Point the toes, inhale. Pull them back to the face, exhale. Point your toes, inhale. Back to the face, exhale. One more big stretch, point away. Exhale. Cross one shin over the other. Rock yourself up to a seat. From that seated position, come all the way over with your hands. Step back into downward facing dog. And stretch your heels away. Hands push down, heels lengthen. They don't have to touch the floor, but they want to lengthen. Almost if they actually touch the floor, you've nowhere else to go. So there really kind of is a benefit of having a little bit of space beneath the heels so that you constantly have somewhere they can just grow into, even that if that is a millimeter per class, a tiny amount of stretch and length. Relax the head, maybe give the head a little shake from side to side, nod yes, side to side no. Take your right leg up to the sky, breathe in. Bend your right knee, open your right hip, breathe out. Now as you're opening that right hip, I want you to pull the toes back towards the knee, so it's your heel that's driving away. You've not got a point through the toes, you've got the opposite. Kick your heel to the left side of the room. So just make that opening through the right hip a bit more active. So you're trying to drive your right heel slightly over to the left. Breathe. Exhale. One more. Exhale, bring that right knee into the chest, carry it nice and high. 3, 2, 1. Step your right foot forwards, rest your back knee down, point your back toes. Inhale, lift up and open through that left hip. Squeeze your left glute. So really do engage through that left side. So you're not just dropping into the left hip, you're trying to engage and strengthen through the back of that left hip. Big pull through the front of the left thigh. Breathe in. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Big inhale. Exhale 3. Hands come down inside of your right foot. Tuck the back toes. Straighten your back leg. So lengthen through that left thigh. Nice and strong. Again, strong through the leg. Engage through the glutes. Rise up to your fingertips and just send the chest forward. So almost looking just a foot or two beyond your yoga mat. Instead of down to the ground, just a bit more opening. Long stretch through that left thigh. Breathe in. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Hands down. Really quietly try and step back into downward facing dog. No sound. Make it slow. Hands spread out wide. So you can see the mat between all 10 fingertips. So make sure you're spreading through the fingers. Lift your left leg up to the sky. Bend your left knee, open your left hip. And it's with that left heel, you're trying to kick to the right side of the room. So as you do that, there's a little bit more work through the hamstring and the glute on that left side, not just passively opening through the hip, but trying to strengthen through the hamstring and the glute. Even if you just try and send a message to that left glute to squeeze a bit harder, and then bring that left knee into the chest. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1, and step. Rest your back knee down. Point your back toes. Inhale, lift up, open through the chest. Engage through that right glute this time. Breathe in. Breathe out, slowly going forwards. Breathe in. Breathe out. Tuck the tailbone here, so that might not feel like a great big movement. You just pull the waist in a little, try and tuck under. Feel that stretch go deeper into the right thigh. Big breath. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Bring your hands down. And then tuck the back toes, straighten through that right leg, active and strong. So you're high on the ball of the back foot. And then lift to your fingertips. To your fingertips and gaze forwards. Breathe in. And breathe out. You're looking just a few feet ahead of you. Inhale. Nice long line through the back of the neck. Exhale. Make sure you aren't creasing through the back of the neck. 2, 1. Hands flat. Slowly, quietly step back. So don't rush. Carry that left foot back into downward facing dog. Stretching it down through the heels, lifting up through the thighs, in through the waist. Breathe here. Exhale. Soften and bend your knees. Walk your feet towards the hands and come into a forward fold. So just relax your body forwards, head heavy. Weight pours forwards from the hips. So hips are high, weight down through the spine, coming forwards. Arms are heavy, shoulders, head and neck. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Then just wriggle your feet together. So inner heels, big toe knuckles touch. And pull the waist in, curl up through the spine. So curling, rolling, a chance to realign. So take it really slow, bringing your spine exactly up through the center, not over to the left, not over to the right. Stand nice and tall, inner thighs squeezing together. Reach your arms up, lift, inhale. Exhale, sit down into a chair. So engage knees, inner thighs, around the waist. Tailbone tucks under, arms are long. Think about your lower ribs. Pull those lower ribs in. Breathe. Looking to the top of your yoga mat. So you've got a nice long line down through the back of the neck. Not straining to look forwards. Squeeze the knees a bit stronger. 3, 2, 1. Take it all the way down, forward fold. Big breath in. And big breath out. Look just a foot or so beyond your toes. Come to your fingertips rather than the flaps of your hands. Lift your right leg back. Just come into a supported warrior 3. So drive that right leg up and back without opening the right hip to the right side of the room. So keep your right thigh, your right kneecap facing down to the floor. Just driving and lifting that right heel back. And then maybe try and lengthen the spine a bit further forward. So crown of the head reaches forwards. Probably a challenge down the back of the left leg. Breathe in, breathe out. See if you can lift that right heel a little higher. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly bring your right foot down next to your left foot. Transfer the weight over to your right foot. Send the left leg back, keeping the left hip facing down, not opening out. Spine long. Waist in. Breathe. Push down into that right foot. Drive your left heel back. 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring both feet back together. Bend your knees, come back into a chair. So squeeze inner thighs, reach the arms up and away. Waist in, tailbone under, arms nice and long. Thumbs pointing to the wall behind you, little fingers facing forward, so your palms are facing one another. Try and take the thumbs a bit further back. So you're lifting the arms a little higher, probably feel it into the shoulders. Breathe. 3, 2, just make sure as you're doing that, you're not arching the back. 1, forward fold, all the way down. Hands to the floor, step back into downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. 1. Breathe in, breathe out. 2. Take your right leg up to the sky. Keep the thigh facing down. Keep the heels stretching back. Try not to open the hip this time. Push into both hands evenly. So just notice if you're swaying the weight over to one side. Keep yourself central to the yoga mat. Bring your right knee into the chest and step, no sound. So even if you stop and carry that right foot forwards, do it silently. Turn your left toes out. Warrior 2, big opening through the arms. Breathe in. Breathe out, go into that right knee. Breathe in. Breathe out. Engage your left glute. So squeeze that back glute. Lift your spine tall. So see if you can sit your hips an inch lower, but lift the crown of the head an inch higher. So you're stretching through the spine. Just glance to that front knee, and if you can't, bring your front knee slightly to the right so you can see your right big toe. Just notice if that right knee is wavering in. Flip your right palm. Left hand goes behind the back, so don't rest the left hand, just place it behind the lower back. Reach your right arm up to the sky and then slightly arch back so you get a long stretch through that right side of the body. Bring it back to Warrior 2. From Warrior 2, straighten your right leg, turn the right toes to face the side of the room, and then turn your left toes to the back of the room, Warrior 2 to the back of the yoga mat. Bending into your left knee, waist wraps in, glutes are engaged. You're sitting a little lower, but lifting a little taller at the same time. So really trying to find that space through the side of the body. Right hand to the lower back this time. Flip your left palm, lift your left arm up to the ceiling, and then a slight arch back. Doesn't have to be much at all. Big stretch. And then bring it back to Warrior 2. Breathe in. And breathe out. Straighten the left leg. Turn your left toes in, right toes back to the top of the mat. This time triangle. So you might want to just shuffle your left foot in slightly. Reach to the top of your yoga mat. Lengthen. Lengthen as much as you can. And then left hand to the shin. Sorry, right hand to the shin, left arm to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1. Legs are active, so lift the thigh muscles. Like you're trying to lift your kneecaps and to pull the kneecaps up the legs. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Look to the inside of the right foot. Soften the right knee. Bring both hands down to the instep of the right foot. Turn and rest your left knee to the floor. Silently take that right foot back. Kick your right foot to the wall behind you. So both hands are down. The left knee is down and your right foot is kicking back. 3 points of contact. Breathe in. And breathe out. Take your left arm forwards. Inhale. Exhale. Pull in through the waist. Just notice if you're collapsing through the front of the body. Almost try and hold yourself a bit higher away from the mat. 3, 2, 1. Keep that right leg lifted. Bring your left hand down. Tuck your left toes. Lift your right leg up to the sky. Downward dog. So you're lifting that right leg high. Breathe in. Breathe out. So same knee. Right knee comes into the chest. We step forwards. High lunge. Lift your arms up to the sky. soften your back knee. So there can be a softness in that back knee. You can wrap the waist in. You can engage through that left glute. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Take your hands down behind the lower back. Interlace your fingers. Reach the knuckles back. Open the chest. Hold it here. So it's strong in the legs. Opening the left hip and opening through both shoulders. Breathe. In and out. 2. 1. Slowly take both arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, look to the top of your mat. Take both hands down to the top of the mat. Push into your right foot and lift your left foot up to the sky. So you're in a balance. The hands are down. Crown of the head is reaching forwards. Left leg is stretching back. Breathe. Exhale. Now push into your right foot. Slowly lift the hands into the chest. So you'll lift yourself a bit taller, hands into prayer, more of a balance, more work. Push into the right foot, especially into the outside edge of your right foot. Feel the work in the outside of the right hip. Step both feet together at the top of the mat. Breathe in, reach both arms up to the sky. And breathe out, fold all the way forwards, hands down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Push into the hands, step back into downward facing dog. Pushing your heels away and your hands away. Roll forwards into a plank position. Hold your arms nice and straight and strong, looking just beyond the top of your yoga mat. Start to lower the hips, squeeze your glutes so you'll stay with the toes tucked, coming into upward facing dog, but strong through the back of the hips. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears. 3, 2, waist wraps in to lift you back, downward facing. 3 breaths there, inhale. Exhale, 1. 2 more breaths, inhale. Exhale, 2. Last one, I'm just moving so I can better see you. And 3. Take your left leg high, reach that left leg up to the sky. Left thigh stays facing down. Bring your left knee into the chest. Carefully step it forwards, no sound if you can help it. Turn your right toes out. Windmill open, warrior 2. Breathe in and breathe out. Now just glance down to your left big toe. Check you can see your left big toe. That left knee isn't wavering in. And then close your eyes and think about whether your shoulders are directly above your hips or whether you're slightly leaning your shoulders forwards. Some of you might be near a mirror or a window or something that you can catch your reflection in, but you just want to make sure you're not trying to lean into that warrior 2. You want to be nice and tall. Straighten your left leg. We're turning the left toes in, the right toes out, so it's warrior 2 to the back of your mat. Breathe in. Spine nice and tall, breathe out. Hips low, shoulders high. And then straightening the right leg, turning the right toes in, going back to the top of the mat with the left toes, warrior 2. Hold it, waist in, legs strong, arms are wide. Keep that reach across your arms, straighten your front leg. Shuffle your back foot in once, maybe twice. Reach from your left hip, lengthen forwards. Stretch, coming into your triangle, left hand down, right arm lifted. Breathe in, open across the chest. Breathe out, engage through the thighs, so lift. Root down through your feet, but at the same time, lift through the inner arches. Breathe. Exhale. In and out. Glance to the inside of the left foot. Soften that left knee. Both hands come down inside of your left foot. Turn and rest your right knee to the floor. Kick your left leg back into space. So drive that left heel back. Long line through the spine. And then you're reaching the right arm forwards. And you just want to make sure that you don't reach that right arm forwards and then kind of banana or dip in the middle of the body. I want you to retain that line of strength through the center of the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep that left foot lifted. Bring your right hand down. Tuck your right toes. Lift your left leg up to the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring that left knee into the chest and step. High lunge. Lift your arms up to the sky. Lifting up and then softening your back knee. So you're holding that position. There's more work through the front thigh. You're engaging through the back of the right hip. And then this time, take your arms out to the side of the room. So just reach your arms out wide. Instead of interlacing behind the back, just try and reach your arms back. So can you point your fingers to the back of the room? Really try and lift open through the chest. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring the hands further back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. And then exhale, look to the top of your mat, take the hands down, push into your left foot, lift your right leg. Breathe in, find your balance, and breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. One more big breath. Exhale, step both feet together. Ragdoll the body forward, so completely soft and relaxed through the upper body, head, shoulders, really heavy forwards and down. Breathing in, breathing out. And then, so right now your feet should be about hip width apart and parallel to one another. So your toes are facing forwards. Keep them in that position, but almost imagine you're trying to turn your toes out and your heels in. So you're trying to almost screw your feet down into the floor. So they're not actually moving, but your heels are trying to come together and your toes are trying to turn out. Find that strength through the legs. Now roll up through the spine. So it should feel quite intense, the sensation up through the legs. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep that through the feet. Stand nice and tall, more engaged through the lower body. Engage through the glutes. Lift high through the crown of the head. Inhale. Exhale. One more with that sensation down through the feet. Inhale. Exhale and then relax. Let that go. So there's a softness in the stance. Breathe in. And breathe out. Bring your hands into prayer heart center. Sway slightly with your weight over to the left foot. Lift your right foot in for tree. So either inside of the shin, or it can come all the way up. You decide, but inside of the shin is fine. Knee goes out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Think about space around the tops of your shoulders. So try not to lift the shoulders. Take the arms up. And then let the hands go out. So it's going to be a bit of an upward glide through the shoulders, but just make sure that you don't feel any squashness around the neck. I don't think that's a word, but any sensation of squashing around the neck. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now hands come back into prayer. This is going to depend on the room that you have to your right hand side. So you might have to improvise a little. You're going to lift that right foot off your left shin. So kind of holding it out to the side. Now I'm going to kick out to the side. So it's at a funny angle. It's the outside of my hip that's working. Now I'm holding there. I just need to move around. Take it back into a warrior three. So challenge yourself to go out and back as you come forwards. So you challenge how much space there is in that right hip, and you're holding it when you get into your warrior three. When you get into your warrior three, you'll need to rearrange slightly, pull that right hip down, Reach the crown of the head forwards. Reverse the process. Take your right foot out to the side of the room. Challenge yourself to lift it high. Come back into your tree. Stand nice and tall. And we're going to do that one more time. So take your right foot out to the side. Take your body forwards, kick it high. Challenge that right hip. Find your balance. And then come back. So you open the hip, kick out to the side. Ooh. Come back into your tree. Plant the right foot down. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Weight to the right foot. Left knee lifts. Left knee just comes into tree to start with. So find your tree wherever that is. Arms go up and away. Breathe. Easy breath. So see if you can find a breath that's as soft and steady as that breath we had at the very start of the practice where we were led down. It's easy. Hands come into prayer. You're going to lift your left foot from wherever it is. It's out to the side now. Kick out to the side and then take it all the way back into a warrior three. So you might wobble, you might fall. That's fine. Trying to challenge how much space that you have through that left hip. And it's very active because you're not able to use the hand to lift and force it. Come back into your tree. And we're going once more forwards and back. So take it out. Go all the way back. A lot of work going on through the core as well. You're holding and stabilizing around the pelvis and the lower back. Lift up and out. Find your tree just for one breath in and out. Plant that foot down, hip width with the feet. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. So your knees are a little bit apart now. Exhale, sit down into a chair with a gap between the knees, between the feet. Pull the belly in. Inhale. Exhale, hold it heel, navel to spine, tailbone tucks. Strong in the legs. Rock forwards to the balls of the feet. See if you can lift the heels. Stay in your chair. Rock the heels back down. So there'll be a little rock forwards and backwards. Lift back to the balls of the feet. Take it back to the heels. One more, balls of the feet. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Forward fold all the way down with the hands. Relax through the feet. Relax through the head, the neck, the shoulders. Take a big inhale. And a big exhale. Big breath in. Big breath out. Hands down. Step it back. Downward facing. Inhale. Exhale. Look to the top of your mat. Left foot is stepping to the outside of the left hand. So you might need to give it a hand to get it all the way up there. And then you turn your right toes out, Skandasana. So walk your hands into the middle of your mat and you now want to be facing over to the right as your right toes lift. So we come into this position. You might find that heel doesn't want to go all the way down, but that's okay. Just try and sit down with the hips and try and lift the chest. You can do that, Amanda. You can go lower than that. I know you can. You don't turn and look at me. You can do it. Yeah. Pull the toes back to the face. So you're strong in that right thigh. And then your hands come back to the top of the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out here. Roll forwards to a plank position. Hold that plank. And lift your left toes off the floor. So you just have 3 points of contact. Lower all the way to the ground as slowly as you can. When you get to the floor, you can rest both feet, lift both hands, and open the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, take the hands back down. Tuck your toes back into downward facing dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. Right leg high, inhale. Exhale, right foot comes to the outside of the right hand. This time you turn your left toes to the left side of the room and you sit into that right hip, right knee. So it's almost like a half squat position. I'm squatting in that right side, but my left leg is long and the left toes are pulling back. Breathe. Exhale. Try and lift the chest, even if it's just you lift your gaze. So it's not fully down at the floor. It's just about a foot away from the left side of your yoga mat. And then bring your hands back down. Step back into downward facing dog. Roll forwards into a plank. Lift your right toes. Lower all the way down. When you get there, rest both feet. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hands, lift your chest, engage the glutes. Reach your arms out wide. 3, 2, 1. Hands back to the floor. Take it back. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. Left foot again outside of the left hand. Turn your right toes out, coming back into Skandasana. So bending into that left side, right toes pull back. It's quite intense. It is strong, but it is a good stretch. You just want to engage that right thigh. So that's what's super important. Are you lifting that right thigh or are you relaxed in that right leg? Maybe try and lift the hands off the floor. Gaze is out in front of you. Breathe. Wrap the waist in. 3, 2, as smoothly as possible, take your hands down to the top of the mat, step back into downward facing dog. And we go straight to the right side, right foot forwards. Left toes turn out. That deep squat into the right knee, right hip. Skandasana, pull your left toes back. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Don't use that many Sanskrit names, but if it does help if you know a few of them, so we can collect a few as we go along, and then you know what they are, you know what shapes you're coming into. And then slow and smooth, step it back, both hands down into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Exhale. In and out. Rest both knees to the floor about hip width apart. And you have 2 choices. We're going to come up. Some people find toes tucked more supportive, more stable. I personally prefer to have my feet flat, but you decide. You might do 1 round with feet flat, 1 round with toes tucked. So tailbone goes under. That's the first thing. Just make sure you aren't sticking your hips back. Tuck the tailbone under. And then in the same way, imagine my hands are your feet. In the same way before, we were trying to bring the heels in and the toes out. I want you to be here. Close your eyes. Rest your arms down by the side. Imagine you're trying to turn your knees out. You're squeezing the glute. The inner thighs are kind of trying to push forward. So that's how stable and strong you are in the lower body. Now reach your arms up to the sky. Big breath in. Big breath out. Once they're up there, inhale, reach taller. Exhale, arch back, open the chest. Breathe. 3, squeeze your glutes, drive the inner thighs forwards. 2, 1. Slowly bring it back down. Hands to the thighs, take a seat. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. 1 more. Exhale. tuck the tailbone under. So do it there before you've even risen up. So tailbone comes under, waist is in. Now drive up through the hips, maintain that position through the lower body. So strong in the glutes, inner thighs trying to push forwards. Reach your arms up to the sky. Breathe in, lift taller. Breathe out, go further back. Squeeze your hips and your glutes forwards. Inhale. Exhale. One more big breath. Exhale, slowly bring it down. Hands to your thighs. Close your eyes. Have a seat. Soften the shoulders. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. And out. Come forwards with both hands. Step your left foot to the outside of the left hand. Reach your arms up to the sky. So you're in this almost low lunge position. Right knee down. Lift your arms up. I'm going to face you actually. So lift your arms up, side bend over to the left. So you're really stretching out that right side of the body, but I want you to reach the arms up and come over. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, side bend over to the right. So really trying to find the control through the side of your body. Inhale, lift back to center. This time, exhale, you can take your left hand to your left waist, reach over with the right arm. And then lift back up to center, swap the hands over. So left arm up, right hand, right hip. Bring your left arm over. And then breathe in, back to center. Take both hands down to the floor in front of you. Rest to your elbows. You'll need to take that right knee a bit further back. So you are in a low lizard lunge. You will need to probably take your right knee further back to be more comfortable. If you want something more active, feel free to lift that back knee off the floor. I'm going to keep mine down, but you can lift your back knee if you like. Gaze down to the floor so you're not stressing through the back of the neck. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. One more. Exhale. Slowly rise up to your hands. And you're on hands or maybe fingertips. Just want you to wriggle that left foot a little bit further forwards. So you just challenge the front thigh. Breathe in. And breathe out. So you're challenging that left hamstring. In. And out. One more. Exhale. Now, hands down. Can you silently bring that left foot back? So it's a lot of work through the center of the body, through the obliques to step that left knee back. Take your right foot to the outside of the right hand. Reach up. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time, take your arms wide. Keep your right arm out to the right side. Lift your left arm up and then lean over to the right, but keep that right arm reaching out to the side. So it almost acts as a block. You can't side bend any lower. All the length and space has to come from the left. So it has to come from the left rather than a collapse in the right. Inhale to center. Take your left arm out to the side. Reach your right arm up. Side bend over, but you can't squash that left side of the body because this left arm isn't allowed to go any lower. Bring it back. From there, take both hands back behind you, interlace the fingers, open the chest, big breath in, big breath out. Two more there, big breath in, big breath out. Release and take both hands down to the floor. Probably need to take your left knee a bit further back and then rest to the elbows. You might not need to take that left knee back. That might feel like way too much of a stretch, but I think most of you can come down into the hips quite a bit now. Relax the head there, so don't be Don't be tempted to look at what's going on in front of you. Just try and drop the weight of the head. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then we'll do something into the hips that we've not done in a little while, actually, but we've kind of worked up to it nicely. One more full breath. Exhale. Come up. So just push your hands down. Take that right knee back next to the left knee and then have a seat. And I want you to sit with your left shin parallel to the top of your yoga mat. And your right knee comes to the inside of your left foot. So you have left shin, right shin. And take your hands out in front of you. Just interlace your hands or hold them in prayer, whatever. They just want to be out of the way. There's going to need to be a slight lean to the left. I want you to see, and it's really hard, feels almost impossible. See if you can lift that right foot off the floor. It feels impossible is the only way I can describe that. But it's a little bit of control into the outside of that right hip. And then what you really want to do is try and do it with a straight spine, but I am certainly not there yet. And then let that go. Take a breath. Exhale, go again. So try and stay as tall as you can through the spine. You are lifting that right foot off the floor. And then let it go. Now stay where you are with the upper body. Just take that right leg out. Give it a little bit of a shake when it gets there. Point your right toes. Lift your right leg off the floor. It's all in that right hip. Breathe. Exhale. In and out. One more breath. Exhale, let it go. Relax the hands down. Give that right hip a bit of a pat, and we take it to the other side. So bring your right shin now, so it cuts across the top of the mat. Take your left leg down to the side. Hands out in front of you. Pull in through the center of the body. You're going to need to lean a little to the right, but you want to try and make it minimal. Lift your, I don't think I can even do it on this side. Try and lift your left heel. I can hardly do it on that side. Strong internal rotation in that hip. Breathe. Just have the intention, even if it's a centimeter or a millimeter of movement, and then let it go. Okay, you're going to go again. Big breath. Exhale, lift. And then let it go. Hold yourself upright. Kick that left leg out. Point your left toes. Lift your left foot off the floor and hold. I can't do it, that exercise we just did, I can't do on this side at all, really. And interestingly, this hip is completely externally rotated. So it just shows how you are so different on each side. So it doesn't matter if something doesn't work on one side. And then let that go. Take your right leg out as well. And take your arms to the side of the room. Breathe in. Breathe out, lean forward with a straight spine, only as far as you can maintain a straight spine. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. And out. In and out. Then let your hands come down. Let the spine round forwards. Maybe if you have a block, you might want to place a block beneath your forehead. You might rest to hands, or you could make a tower with your hands and rest your forehead. Depends how far down you are, or you can rest your elbows to the floor and you can almost support the weight of your head. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. 2 more breaths. Exhale. In and out. Slowly roll up. About where the knees are, bend and plant your feet. Take your arms out in front of you, and you're going to rock both knees over to the left. Don't let the hands come down. Bring them back through center. Try and sit tall. Take both knees over to the right. So mobility through the lower body. Bring it back through center. Take the knees to the left. Back through center. Take your knees over to the right. Through center. To the left. Through center. Back to the right. From there, release your hands, stretch both legs out to the top of your yoga mat. And give both legs a little bit of a shake. And then plant the feet. Make sure you're far enough forward so that you can come and lie down on your mat all the way, rolling it back. Arms down by the side. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Feet push down, so you might need to walk them a bit closer. Tailbone tucks, roll up through the spine. Lifting the hips, first of all, engaging through the glutes, squeezing through the glutes. Welcome to stay here. Take a good 8 more breaths. So we're here for a little while, or you can bring your hands up, not quite open, hopefully, through the hips and the side of the body. So if you do want to try and push all the way up, your hands are pushing and anchoring down. Your chest is lifting to the top of the wall behind you. So you're driving up and away with the chest, rooting down through the feet, maintaining strength through the glutes. Amanda, go on, drive your chest up and forwards. Breathe in. Yes, breathe out. Squeeze the glutes, lengthen the spine, lift the chest up and away. 2, 1. Crown of the head to the floor. Slowly roll down from wherever you are. Roll it through the back. Rest your hips. Bring your hands onto the belly. Kick your feet up to the sky. Knees can be soft. Just give your ankles and your feet a bit of a roll around again. And then take your arms out wide. If you're super near the wall and you find it really easy to throw yourself into legs up the wall, then you can do that. But if not, we're just going to stay here. You can soften the knees. We're just going to take a moment to let the pressure and stress drain from the ankles down towards the knees. And then away from the knees, down the thighs to your hips, your tailbone into the lower back, and then down into the ground. So get rid of all that weight, pressure, stress. So instead we're left with a lightness through the feet and the toes. Space across the chest and the arms. Softness through the palms of the hands and the fingers. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Soften the knees, so let the knees bend. Just plant your feet to the floor. And let the knees touch. Hands come onto the belly. So we close the practice just like we started. Take a little bit of time here. Notice how easy the breath feels, hopefully. Notice the softness beneath the hands in the belly. Let that represent how the whole body feels. You're going to just take your right arm overhead, let it lie all the way and reach back to the top of your yoga mat. Roll yourself over onto your right. Let the left hand come in front of your chest or in front of your face just to catch you. Lie there heavy. Totally relax through that right side of the body.
And then push into your left hand. Try not to force yourself up, no rush. Just walk yourself in with the hands. Cross your legs and sit tall in that seat. Hands to the thighs. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Hands into prayer, heart center. And thank yourself for making time to come and practice this morning. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Well done, guys.